What's up? Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Monday, January 8th, 2024. Your host, Joe from the Buckeye Cast, bringing it to you. Hey, while you're here, please hit the thumbs up button. We're getting plenty of views. Unfortunately, some people don't see the thumbs up button, the like button. Please do me a favor and hit that. If you're listening on podcast, please leave us a review. I would greatly appreciate it. You don't even have to type anything. Just give us 5 stars. Done. No matter what platform you're on. If you do want to leave a review, you're more than welcome to. Let me know if you want me to read it on the air. I'll read it on the air. I don't care. So today we're talking about coaching staff changes for the Buckeyes. It's that time of year. We got the coaches convention going on this week, and probably won't get any announcements for maybe another week this weekend at the earliest coming up. So Pro Football Scoop, it's Football Scoop, my bad. Football Scoop published an article a couple days ago that they have information that changes are likely to occur in all 3 phases of the Ohio State coaching staff. So it's expected that special teams will have a new coordinator, and then Ryan Day's also going to make a change to the defensive staff, and it looks like he's probably going to bring in an OC to run the offense. Right now, for a head coach, the demand on a head coach in college football right now is just out of control. Until the calendar changes and things shift around a little bit. You got the transfer portal, NIL, the recruiting never ends. Plus, you got the regular duties, kind of the boring shit of maintaining relationships within the building, leading the coaching staff, meetings on top of meetings, motivating the team, donor meetings. Don't forget, you got to help raise money for the NIL collectives and for the athletic department. And just a ton of behind the scenes, BS that no coach really enjoys, but it's part of the job. So by trying to do all of that, Day is coming up short in multiple areas, and he needs to take a step back, embrace his role as CEO of the program, and he needs someone that can take the offense off of his plate, or at least most of it, So we're going to kind of focus on Corey Dennis here in a sec, but Ryan Day has said these words: each position coach is the head coach of their room, right? He's called Jim Knowles, the head coach of the defense. He needs a head coach of the offense. So Corey Dennis, 31 years old, kind of rushed into the job, I think you could say, easily. He played receiver at Georgia Tech, was an intern on the offensive side of the ball at the Buckeyes in 2015. Obviously, stepfather got the job for him. He was a GA 2016 to 2017, working with the receivers. 2018 to 2019, he was a senior quality control guy with the offense. Then in December of 2019, he was in line to become the quarterbacks coach at Colorado State. That's when Steve Addazio took the CSU job. So Ryan Day, Mike Yursich was our OC back then, if you remember, quarterback coach / OC. Ryan Day fires Yursich because, well, who wouldn't? It tells you something when James Franklin a few years later fires Yursich. So, yeah. So then firing Yursich, Day offers the job to Corey Dennis. No nationwide search was done to fill the job, I would like to point out. They wanted to maintain continuity and hire somebody who he knew he could trust. So since 2020 to this point, Corey Dennis has been the quarterback's coach. This is his 4th year. In August of 2021, he was named 24/7 Sports 30 under 30 list of rising young coaches. But most impressive on his resume is that he's Urban Meyer's son. That's my opinion. That's an opinion. That's not a fact. Um, Ryan Day said, quote, since I've got here, Corey's been my right-hand man. We've spent a lot of time in that meeting room, and he knows exactly how we teach things. He's got a tremendous relationship with the quarterbacks here. He's done a good job in recruiting. He's had a hand in a lot of stuff we do. So I feel great with not only the fact that he can teach the way we teach it, but also it leaves some continuity in that room. He said that back when he hired Corey. So really, though, Corey Dennis coaches the backup quarterbacks. Ryan Day coaches the starter. So, and you saw with the lack of preparation and lack of progress from Kyle McCord, Devin Brown, Lincoln Keenholz this year, I'm not sure Corey Dennis really did a whole lot. With 2 years backing up CJ Stroud, you thought McCord would be more ready. Was not. Maybe that's not Corey Dennis's fault. Maybe it is. I don't know. The recruits and their families, the quarterback recruits, seem to love Corey Dennis. But I believe the Ryan Day offense does all of the recruiting. Corey Dennis just kind of, gets a little shine because he's next to it. So Corey Dennis's contract expires at the end of January. Right now, he's the fourth highest paid quarterback in college football, $412,000 a year. He can't tell me. I need some evidence as to why he earns that. Day needs to make some calls to find him a place to land because we don't fire people as a program. We get them other jobs and show them the door. Like a nice Midwesterner, right? So yeah, Ryan Day needs to find a veteran, experienced QB coach / offensive coordinator that could come in and be the head coach of the quarterback room. And again, Ryan Day needs to embrace being the CEO of the program and give up the play calling. So I've got a list here of dudes. Did a little digging. OC / quarterback coaches. So a lot of times they go hand in hand. And since we're still limited to 10, full-time coaches, you got to find dudes that can share rules. So OC and quarterback coach combos. Number one, Will Stein. He's currently Oregon's offensive coordinator. He's a Broyles Award finalist this year. In his first year as their OC and quarterbacks coach, the Ducks were ranked second in college football with points scored, yards gained, yards per game, and he was a former Louisville quarterback. You saw what he did with Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix was garbage, at Auburn, but he came to Oregon, became a Heisman Trophy finalist, and led college football in completion percentage and touchdowns. So I'd say this dude's resume is pretty shiny. He's only been a full-time assistant at the Power 5 level for 4 years at UTSA. He's in line for a raise at Oregon. He's only making $800,000 right now. The Buckeyes definitely would pay well over $1 million, as most of the staff already is. So the other guy, Joe Moorhead, that's my nickname around certain parts of Northwest Ohio. He's the Akron head coach, in case you didn't know that. Would he leave a head coaching job at Akron for an offensive coordinator job at Ohio State? Definitely going to be a bump up in base pay. Buckeyes would definitely pay him more than $620,000 that he's making in Akron, and he's only won 4 games in 2 years. So there's that. He's got a great track record as an OC. He worked at Oregon as well. He was the offensive coordinator when the Ducks beat us in 2021 in Columbus. He also was the OC when Penn State beat us in 2016. So he's a Buckeye killer. So if you can't beat him, hire him, right? He has more than 3 decades of coaching experience in college. Like I mentioned, OC and quarterback developer. He would check a lot of the boxes that we're looking to fill. Doug Nussmeier, I don't know about this guy. He's currently with the Los Angeles Chargers in the NFL, but they're supposed to, all those guys, that entire staff is supposed to get whacked. So he'll be back in the job market. He spent most of his coaching career in college, worked at some big time programs, uh, Washington, Bama, Michigan, and Florida. He spent 5 years with the Cowboys as their quarterbacks coach, and was OC at those schools. And he's got all the experience you need. Um, Another guy that nobody's talking about really is Dino Babers, the former Syracuse head coach. Uh, Buckeyes have a track record of hiring former head coaches. Um, so he was at Syracuse for 8 years. He's got almost 40 years of college coaching experience as an OC and a QB coach at Arizona and Texas A&M. So big programs, right? Um, Supposedly, he was on Gene Smith's short list to replace Urban Meyer until Ryan Day was promoted to the job. Um, so that's a possibility. I'm not really into the Joe Philbin option. He's in the building already. I get that as an analyst, but he's pretty old. He's got over 40 years of coaching experience. I don't know if he wants to be out on the road recruiting quarterbacks and shit like that at his age. He's got a ton of experience and a wealth of knowledge and head coaching experience in the NFL, everything. But he never really coached quarterbacks. He was more of an offensive line coach. So some of the other names I saw thrown around. This is the dumbest one ever. Dan Mullen. Nope. Joe Brady. Why would he go back to college? He's an NFL coach now. Gerard Johnson. He's the Houston Texans quarterback coach. Bill O'Brien. Nope, not interested. Frank Reich. Nope. All these former NFL coaches. Josh McDaniels. No, fuck no. Uh, this one is intriguing because of the name. JT Barrett. He's right now assistant to the quarterbacks coach for the Detroit Lions, but he has no real experience calling plays. I realized he was a 3-year starter at Ohio State, or 3-time captain. Won a lot of games, but that doesn't get you an OC job. That's a big time bump up. Some of the other names that are out there. I mean, you got your top 10, Garrett Riley. He's not going to leave Clemson. They just signed him to a big contract. Ryan Grubb from Washington. He's probably going to get a pay raise. I doubt he's going anywhere. He's at like $2 million per year. He's one of the highest paid guys. Andy Ludwig from Utah. Notre Dame couldn't get him, so they didn't like his buyout and his contract. Phil Longo's probably not leaving Wisconsin. He just got there. Mike Denbrock from LSU. I don't agree. I don't think he's an option. He just got to LSU. He was formerly with Fickle at Cincinnati. They just, got Jaden Daniels, a Heisman. Jeff Lebby at Oklahoma, and I doubt he's going anywhere. Jeff Grimes at Baylor. He was a finalist for the Broyles Award in 2020, but he hasn't really been at a big-time program. He doesn't really have that experience. He was at BYU also. Warren Ruggiero, no, from Wake Forest. They run, a slow mesh RPO offense. That's not going to work. Alex Atkins, he was promoted to OC at Florida State. Obviously, they were not great, though, in 2021. Until they brought in Jordan Travis, they were mediocre, the offensive game. Tommy Reese at Alabama, I don't think he's an option either. So we'll see what names kind of come out of the woodwork here and what rumors start floating around. But again, there's really not going to be any announcements probably for a week. But that's just my opinion, where we could kill two birds with one stone, slice Corey Dennis off the roster, off the staff, and then plug in a guy that can take the OC and quarterback coach job. So let me know what you guys think. If you're hearing any names, or if you've got a preference, drop it in the comments. Email me, joe@thebuckeyecast.com, whatever, and I'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.